So let me get this straight. While Texas readily hands over power to Trump, in California, people have the power. Newsom is considering a special election this November to let Californians decide whether or not to redraw congressional maps to counter Texas's gerrymandering. In case you missed the drama, Trump called up Texas and basically said,
"I need 5 more seats to hold our slim Republican House majority, or nothing I want will get passed in Congress. We must rig the system."
Boom! Texas draws a new map that was created behind closed doors and redraws district lines to give Trump his 5 net Republican seats. Enter the West Coast's favorite lawful villain, Newsom. Newsom says, "Bet, we keep our maps fair in California, but okay, let's pause that and cancel out Texas's gains by redrawing our maps to net more Democratic House seats." Next thing you know, legislators are fleeing Texas to avoid a vote, and other states are threatening to retaliate. This is where it gets tricky. Some blue states, like California, created independent redistricting commissions to protect their voters from exactly this, from gerrymandering. Meaning, if these states wanted to counter Texas's grab for congressional seats, it would require extra work and time. California legislators would need a 2/3 vote in both state houses to put a ballot measure in front of Californians, and then let Californians decide whether or not to allow the state to bypass our bipartisan redistricting commission until 2030 and let state lawmakers redraw our maps to gain Democratic seats. New York is considering a bill to create a new map only if another state does mid-decade redistricting first, which likely wouldn't go into effect until 2028. And similarly, Colorado and Washington both have independent commissions that cannot redraw maps in the middle of the decade. Meanwhile, in states without redistricting commissions, their state lawmakers draw the district lines, and they have already jerried the mander for so long that they have few moves left, which is how a state like Texas has more registered Democrats than Republicans, but only 12 of 38 Democratic House members. This whole gerrymandering thing tells us that our activism is working, Trump knows voters are mad at his policies, and voters are his biggest threat in 2026 when all 435 House of Representatives seats are up for election, and that he and his MAGA allies are willing to step on voters to keep their power. At the end of the day, gerrymandering leads to voter power being manipulated by political parties, whether you're a red voter in a blue state or a blue voter in a red state. Congressional maps can end up in court and get thrown out for being unconstitutional, depending on what state you live in, or be upheld by the Supreme Court, depending on how many conservative justices show up that day. Questions we're left with are, how far can gerrymandering help us level the playing field before it begins to skew our democracy? How much longer will we even have democracy if Trump remains in power? Let us know. Do you want to see gerrymandering on the ballot in California?